Hey, welcome back to another episode of BarryT's Garage with Ed Smith. And we are going to answer some more questions that you've put in. People have asked, where do I put questions? You just write them in the comments. No problem. We'll see them and I will ask Ed. So hi there, Ed.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's a great day.
Yeah, great day. A little rainy yesterday.
Yeah.
In Arizona, we miss the rain once in a while, but
yeah,
it messes everything up, makes everything muddy. What kind of questions we got this morning?
Well, here I got a question now from our friend Daryl, who's really involved a lot on our channel, and thank you for that, Daryl.
Okay.
He is asking, can you talk a little more about rocker arm ratios?
I think the true Chevrolet rocker arm, the old one that made in 1955, was supposed to be a 1.5, and it wasn't nearly a 1.5.
Really?
Yeah, it was 145 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And then so comp cams came out, and was a good thing, a 152 steel. And it was guaranteed a 152 ratio, just a little bit better than 1.5.
So that lets the valve open a little more?
A little bit more. Don't worry about the duration of holding the valve open. It opens it further. Open the valve more.
Okay.
Not longer.
It's nothing to do with duration. It's how high it goes.
That's right.
Okay.
How much it opens the valve.
Okay.
So we've used our valves all the time, and rocker arms, we change them all the time, even between different racetracks and dirt track we're talking about now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 1.6s, and we put them on the intake if it wants a high volume or something, or put them on the exhaust because the exhaust valves are so small.
Okay.
And we want them to open long further.
Okay.
But anytime you do that now, you worry about valve to piston clearance.
Right. So it does change that.
It don't change that still. It holds the valve further. And again, on the engines, the cams run half the speed of the piston.
Right.
And the valve is down the hole, maybe half an inch, 600 thousandths. And the piston comes up at a certain speed and overruns it.
Okay.
If the valve hits the piston, it's usually when the piston's down the hole before top distance, about 1/4 of an inch.
Okay. Wow. You better be careful.
And the piston overruns it because it's going twice as fast as the valve.
Okay.
Kind of the dog caught the cat.
Right.
Right in the middle there.
You're right. It's almost like it took a shortcut.
Yeah, it took a shortcut there.
Okay.
So sometimes we have some tooling that if we were going to cut valve reliefs, we did that.
Mm-hmm.
And we cut valve reliefs in our piston when we built these engines. So it missed it. Well, don't matter what rocker arm we put where. So we could change it at the racetrack.
Okay.
Just swap them all around again to if it was a long track or short track or sticky or dry.
Okay. So depending on all those
depends
factors.
on what it was, yeah. And you get more horsepower, mid-range torque was important, and that's what you do.
Yeah. Now, I'm just going to make sure we get definitions as we go.
Okay.
When you say cutting a valve relief, are you cutting the valve?
Cutting the piston.
Okay, so explain that.
Yes, cutting the piston. So we have some equipment, so we would put the piston down the cylinder wall about 1/4 of an inch.
Okay.
And then cut that valve, cut the piston with our cutter exactly the same angle as the valve.
So you got to match the angle and I guess the circumference of the valve.
Of the valve, yeah, absolutely.
So you're giving room for the valve to kind of reach into the piston a bit.
That's right. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Like some of our pistons, they're really weird.
Yeah.
Because we've cut intake and exhaust both for valve relief.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're doing this yourself with a maybe off-the-shelf piston, but you're modifying it.
Yes, we are, yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's also important. Well, now you're going to be in trouble. You just can't change the rocker arm ratios and without doing what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
It takes a little bit more time. If you don't get it just right, maybe the pistons and the rings go out the tailpipe.
That's not good.
That's when you end up with a good set of 7 connecting rods and 7 pistons out of your race car motor.
Okay.
There's lots of pistons and rods. There's 7.
Okay.
Sets of 7 instead of 8.
You're buying used parts. It's like, why is there always 7?
Yeah, there's only 7. It's a swap meet. You got 7 pistons and rods.
So here's a quick one from someone named Donald. Do you know anything about the 570 big block truck engine?
Don't know anything
See,
about
when it gets into the truck world, you're probably not doing too much of it.
No.
Someone named Orville, can Ed shed any light on the Chrysler Thermoquad carbs? I currently own one on an old 440 Mopar, little hot rod truck.
I love those carburetors.
Okay.
We don't see them very often. I don't think I have one in my possession right now. I think I have some parts for them.
Okay.
Some jets and metering rods because we use. But that was an excellent carburetor. It was a good idea because that was a plastic center cover.
Okay.
Center bowl was plastic. It kept the gas cooler.
Okay.
It didn't transfer the heat from the motor up into the thing when boiled the gas.
Okay.
And it did have a small primaries again, and big secondaries.
Mm-hmm.
And then Carter came out, not to say Chrysler, Carter came out with their special high performance version of that. And again, we used to have we sold a lot of them. I love that carburetor.
Huh.
Even the carburetor linkage on the side was like a fuel injection. It bolted on the side. You could change different things by just changing the bolts.
Oh,
the whole linkage on the carburetor.
Excellent.
It was an awesome carburetor.
Okay. Well, there you go, Orville. You got a good one. Hang on.
Yeah, keep your carburetor.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can buy kits for them or not.
Yeah. So Ed likes those a lot better than the old Autolite.
Yeah, a lot better than the Ford carburetor, yeah.
Okay, good.
Chrysler had some good ideas. I'm still a Chrysler man.
Yeah, you still like Chryslers.
I still like Chrysler.
I'm going to help you dig those old service manuals out of your office one of these days.
Okay, we can do that.
We'll see what we can do. King is asking, could you ask about your favorite lubricant to protect an engine? And I'll add to that, what's the difference between how you're putting lubricant on an engine when you're building the engine compared to when you're running the engine later?
I have to think about that a little bit.
Okay.
I have some things that I question. Again, some of our camshafts, let's go back to camshaft. We have more camshaft problems now today in the last 10 years than we ever had.
Huh.
And I blame it on the lifters. The lifter manufacturers, they're probably not in the United States. They're not the old Johnson lifter made in, or Millings lifters or something made in Detroit. Different things on that, but the camshafts, and I get after the boys about actually washing a camshaft.
Okay.
And washing the oil off of it. Anytime you wash a camshaft, you put solvent on or something. Now you've got a thickness of solvent on that camshaft, and it dissipates the lubrication you're going to put on it.
Okay.
So I just as soon wipe one off and clean it without these solvents and high-tech solvents that eat up all the oil or dissipate the oil and things like this.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like our crankshafts. I wish we could oil them better. They're steel cranks and cast crank too. They soak up the oil like a sponge. It has to, and the camshafts did that too.
Yeah.
So most parts of an engine are soaked with oil. If you heat it up, it starts to almost drip oil out of it.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So let's go back to the lubrication stuff. There's all kinds of lubes that we just do that I think some of them that we used to do years ago and we never had any problem was the old SDP.
Yeah.
And that, trying to find out it was a silicone, micro things of silicone in the oil. And the more silicone, I think there was only maybe, my experience, there was only 2 or 3 manufacturers of those little particles of silicone ever. And so maybe Justice Brothers used to put more in theirs than STP.
Okay.
And that made it more slippery. STP used to have a push rod in your hand and hold it, and squeeze it with that, and it fell right out of your hand.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I remember in 1959, the 60s, a guy would buy a brand new car and put a can of that motor additive in the motor and the transmission that were in when the car was brand new.
Okay.
So each has this, and Justice Brothers, I remember there was I don't know if they're still around or not, I think they are someplace, and they had one a little better, and even you would take that Justice Brother a bearing and put it in oil, put it in their stuff, and heat it with a torch, and it would be just fine. And put somebody else's and dip it in their product and heat it with a little heat, and it would turn black.
Oh.
Different things. And sometimes they had some demonstrations that they would put a grinder and put some stuff, a little bit of additive to it, and put a bunch of weights on it, and would just stop the grinder.
Okay.
And another would put his product on it, maybe Justice Brothers or somebody, and put it on and put a whole bunch of weight on it and didn't slow down.
Oh, that's quite a demo.
That's quite a demo. We haven't seen those for 50, 60 years, that demonstration. But anyway, so everybody has a big advertisement program.
Yeah.
Spend millions of dollars on spending to make sure product's the best.
Yeah.
And each mechanic has his own.
Yeah.
Now, we put a lot of gray stuff. That thick gray stuff looks like pudding.
Yeah.
we wipe that on certain bearings and lifters, and I don't think you can put too much in there. We start an engine up and it turns gray right away because we put a lot of that on there. I've had people ask me, how much, why do I know so much? Not necessarily, I think a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you've built a lot of engines, you've done a lot of racing, you've also experienced a lot of things breaking.
I broke a lot of parts.
Yeah.
I don't say I never had broken parts.
Yeah, but when I imagine, to your point, when something does break, you're going to think about why.
I think about why, and I want to fix it.
Right.
Either grind it or change it or something, or angle, or do something with it. Drill some holes in it or something.
Right.
So don't do it again. And again, half the time of winning a race is the finish.
You got to get to the finish, right?
Yeah, if you can't finish the race, why start? The second place guy is the first loser. So I hope I don't want to discourage anybody, but it's just the facts. And
yeah,
and some of the I hope these videos help some people.
Yeah.
And some of the younger guys, and I'll say younger guys are from 25 something. The 16-year-old kid could care less. Maybe we do catch one once in a while, and I love those kids.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised we have several teenagers working in our machine shop.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I just love those boys.
Yeah.
And I take care of them. We have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And some of them ask me questions. One of them asked me a question this morning. I said something, and he'd come right back with a perfect answer.
Okay.
I said, thanks. You're using your head.
Yeah.
And he did have a good, I don't know what it was anymore, but it's something little.
Yeah. Well, we get a lot of comments, people saying, I hope the young people are watching these videos.
Yes, that's
and
right.
learning.
That's one of the things we do this.
Yeah, and we're happy for that.
We spend a lot of time, and not to say time is the...
This is about the Ford 460. He said, do you agree that the 460 heads were better flowing than the Cadillac? We talked about the Cadillac 500. Those are both big engines from competing companies. What did you think?
I think the 460 heads are much bigger.
Uh-huh.
But bigger, not necessarily, is the greater.
Okay.
But the 460, we got a lot of horsepower out of some 460 motors. And probably the one of the most horsepower I've seen, we had a 429 out of a same block, same everything else. Just changed the crank. But anyways, a 429 we got out of a T-Bird motor, I think, 69.
Okay.
It might have had 11-to-1 compression.
Ah.
And we put the bigger heads on it and put a lot of carburetors on it. We had it on one of our own boats.
Oh. And
it was a fantastic motor, but on that cylinder head on the 460, it takes a lot of carburetor.
Okay. Is that because it flows so much air?
So much air.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah, because usually you use 2 Dominators on it, 2 4500s.
Okay.
And it really run good. The more carburetors you put on, the bigger the cam, the more horsepower you got on it. So it was a wonderful motor, yeah.
He thinks that maybe just a mild cam with changed out valve springs, you could easily add 100 horsepower. Do you agree?
Well, the valve springs usually don't add much horsepower.
Okay.
Valve springs add RPMs.
Okay.
Yeah, to keep the lifters and everything down where they're supposed to be. That's all they do.
Okay.
They don't really add, valve springs don't add horsepower. So of course, more RPMs, you can get some more horsepower if that's what you want.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get RPMs out of a 460 motor.
Okay.
It's too big, it's too heavy, and the crank's too heavy.
I see.
Pistons are too heavy.
So is it good mid-range RPM?
Mid-range, yeah. A extremely lot of horsepower out of it. He's trying, looks like he's driving on the street, as far as I understand.
Yep.
It's maybe 5,000 RPM, 5,500 would be top.
Okay.
Yeah, and don't expect to get any more of it.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's going to have a lot of torque. That'd be good for your truck. Yeah, awesome. If I would know somebody from back east, it would be because of the race circuit, and mainly that would be in drag racing.
Okay.
Well, we used to drag race in the 70s and stuff.
Okay.
Other than that, I would not. I don't travel around the world.
No, you're too busy building engines here.
Yeah, I keep myself busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. A viewer's got a few points. They say a dog bone style gear drives can create cam harmonics.
I really have some dog bone, had some, and they do. We would, and they made a lot of noise.
Yeah.
So I don't approve of that. It's too many revolving parts, too many people, parts involved.
I see.
And it will give you problems. Again, I've said that before. You need a good harmonic balancer on it, a good fluid balancer on it.
Okay.
On an engine like, other than that, it's going to come apart at high RPMs, like he said.
Okay.
the harmonics and the engine vibration, the crankshaft vibration stuff will break the gears, yes. Fluid balance is the one we've always used. It's actually, I don't know what's inside of it, but it has a bigger balancer, and it's hollow, it's got fluid in it.
Okay.
Of oil.
Okay.
And somehow that oil, I don't know how thick the oil is, I've never drilled one apart and took it apart and investigated it, but it must have some thick oil in it, and then it ends up, the oil base stops vibration.
Okay.
It will absorb the vibration.
Huh.
It's really important about fluid and vibration. I don't know if I touch a little bit more about something real quick here.
Yeah.
I went to a machine shop down here a while back, and it was and they had a box running off a lathe. I think that was a CNC machine too.
Okay.
And he had a box about 25 feet long,
Wow.
maybe a 1 foot square box.
Yeah.
And he had his raw material in that box. It was full of oil.
Really?
And I asked him, what's this box with this oil in it? And he says he was doing fine machinery like a lathe, and that whatever length he wanted to do was in that oil,
Uh-huh.
and it stopped all the vibration. He was that critical on
Really?
the tooling. He was the thing where he was cutting.
Mm-hmm.
Other than just doing anything he's got a lathe, you put on a dry lathe with no oil, it's not going to be perfect at all.
Interesting.
If there's people here, to get in there, we almost had to have our barcode and a thing on the door to get from one room to the other one.
Wow, it's high. Okay.
Yeah,
high
high-tech.
security.
Yeah, it was secret stuff they were doing.
Uh-huh.
And it was here in town. The same way, we can touch a little bit on that. I think the NASCAR people some years ago had a lot of valve spring problems. The valve spring would not go 500 miles. So somebody says, well, what the valve spring does, and we know that with our videos, that at certain RPMs, the valve spring jumps right off the cylinder head. Like at 8,000 RPMs, the valve spring harmonics. Anytime you take a spring and collapse the spring, it's not going to be straight. It's going to go crooked,
Yeah.
curve, because it is a wound spring. It ain't going to go straight up and down. So in that harmonics, the valve spring going up and down, I hope I'm not talking too fast, but the valve spring actually jumps off the head.
Wow.
So then that would break the valve springs, and NASCAR they found. So now, I think, not to always tell any secrets, but they plugged up the oil things and run the valve springs in oil.
No
So
kidding.
the valve covers are full of oil. Not
Really?
just running oil, but they're full.
Wow.
So now the valve spring is running actually in oil.
Huh.
And it stopped breaking right there. And they run cooler.
Yeah.
Anytime you put something in fluid, it's going to run cooler.
Well, when you talk about that valve spring hopping off, it's making me think of a pogo stick. And, you know,
Yes, absolutely.
you know, it's just bouncing up and it's just clearing
trampoline.
right up. Yeah.
Trampoline, yeah, type of thing.
Same idea, right?
Yeah.
That's very
It's
interesting.
really interesting, and I wish I could, spend more time in a higher end shop like NASCAR,
Yeah.
machine shops, and talk to some of those people. But I think I have some kind of an education on machine shop work and what we've done with our stuff over the years and stuff. But
Sure.
but those guys won't even let me in the door.
No.
They won't talk to me. They're that much higher educated than me, and I don't think they talk to anybody.
Right. Right.
If they talked to anybody, they would lose their job. We're not worried about that.
No.
I'm not worried about losing my job.
No, I guess not. One of the few problems the 460 had, and this is his opinion, was it had a garbage Autolite 4-barrel carburetor, better used for a wheel chock. That's how he thinks about it.
That's good. Yes, they had a terrible carburetor.
Okay. It wasn't a good one,
Yeah.
huh?
I have a cousin that he's passed away, and I think he worked for Ford Motor Company for 40 years.
Oh, wow.
He lived up by Detroit, and he was really a good cousin of mine, but he worked for Ford. And I always blamed him for that variable pitch carburetor.
Oh.
That 2-barrel had a float that flew back and forth, would open. And that was another junk carburetor that Ford made.
Did they call that variable Venturi?
Yes, variable ventures, but he said it had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But I know he did have something to do with the V10 motor.
Oh, really?
Yes. When they took those two motors apart and cut them apart and fused them together, the heads,
Huh.
and made that valve covers and everything. And he said he had that motor running in his shop. This is a long time ago. In his engineering, they ran the motor, and a year later they brought it around in a Ford station wagon and let him drive it.
No way.
Yeah, that's many years ago. I talked to him about that.
Can you think about what year that would have been
I
approximately?
don't know exactly, maybe 25 years ago or something.
So
But,
maybe the late 90s?
I asked him, why are you working for Ford for a long time?
Yeah.
His name was Bob Connon was his name, a cousin.
Uh-huh.
He says, because he's having so much fun
Yeah.
at Ford's expense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was
Why retire when you're having fun, right?
Yeah, we're having fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Some of those things he did.
Well, now that you say that, I guess that V10 did come out in the late 90s, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yeah.
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 That was the modular engine series, the
Yeah.
V10, V8, and all
Put on a
that.
lot of torque, but in a motorhome, it never got 10 miles to gallon.
No, right.
I drove one so careful one time, took a long trip with it. It took me 2 miles to get up 60 miles an hour from a stop sign, trying to get better mileage, and I never got 10.
Right. I believe you.
It ran nice and smooth.
Oh yeah.
What
No,
nice-
they were
What a nice motor. Yeah.
yeah, they were good for that. Yep. Someone named Doug. He said, "Hey Ed, sounds like he's got some experience. I've built the 460/429 for 40 years. In my opinion, they are the best, most versatile, long-lasting Ford engines ever made."
The 460, I would put a 460 in a boat in 5 seconds.
Yeah, no problem, huh?
No problem, yeah. Or
Right.
anything, trucks,
Yeah.
awesome, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was really good.
Has Ed ever had experience with Offenhauser's dual port 360 intake manifold? Have you ever dealt with that?
Well, a little bit, yeah. We don't see them very often. Rare. I don't think they sold many because the people didn't understand what they were for.
Okay.
It's basically like a quadrajet carburetor, big secondaries and small primaries. So that intake manifold had 2 ports in it. So it had a small port for idle and cruising, and then a big part of the port. So they divided the port 3/4.
Okay.
They didn't divide it in half or anything, but 3/4. So they had a quarter of it for idling, and the other bigger part for acceleration and torque.
I see.
It was a great idea. I think to get them to run right and get perfect, you're taking a lot of porting and polishing.
I see.
Port that'd be twice as many ports to port, twice as much long, and they just didn't sell that many of them.
Okay.
We don't see them today. Rarity to see them in a swap meet or anything, but it surely was a good thing for mid-range again. Don't try to get horsepower out of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a big enough volume. It was still a small block or whatever the manifold was.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
So
interesting.
that's it was a good manifold.
Dave is responding. He's got some strong words about the Oldsmobile oiling system. He says it stinks because it oils the lifters before the crank, which is a major flaw. For big power, you're better off with an aftermarket block with a redesigned priority mains oiling system. It's pricey, but he thinks if you want to make big power on a big Olds, that's the way to go. What do you think about that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It was a bad system. We had problems with those when they were first come around. Especially, there was some boat people here in towns built some boats and jet boats. And of course, California built a lot of jet boats and stuff, and had the Oldsmobile motor in them. And once the Oldsmobile motor was running, that was fine. But to tear one apart and put it back together again, it was always a problem. And we were so careful. And the machine shops guys and my friends here in town, we all got together and talked about that Oldsmobile motor and the oiling system.
Okay.
But I think they do have some plugs available
Uh-huh.
where you can block some of that and have thinner orifices because the lifters don't need that much oil.
Okay.
And it starves them. Yeah, he's correct. Absolutely correct there.
So what
It's
you
a
said.
bad feature for Oldsmobile.
So were they drawn to it because it did make good power, except for the oiling? It made good power, I guess.
It made good power. Yeah, Oldsmobile motor ran good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a big cubic inch. Anytime you got cubic inches,
Yeah, that
you got power.
gives you a head start right there.
Yeah, right. Head start.
Okay.
So
well,
it's really bad thing for Oldsmobile to do that.
that there are 3 different restrictor kits that he knows of.
Yeah, see there. Yeah, he knows that.
For fixing this situation. One's a set that you hammer into the main bearing saddles to limit the cam bearing oil. They call that useless garbage. These guys got opinions.
Yeah.
Another is a 16-threaded restrictors for lifter oil feed holes, but they're only good for solid cam lifters, not hydraulics.
Hydraulics need more oil.
They need more oil.
Yeah, you have to be real careful there.
You're right. You
Yeah.
restrict the oil too much, now you're not going to get the lifter to work
That's
properly.
right. Yeah.
Okay. And the third is push rods with smaller oil holes.
Push rods with smaller oil holes just restricts the oil to the rocker arms.
So you got to be careful, I guess.
Yeah, you have to, there's a whole science. He's thought about his thing, whoever he is.
Yeah.
He's thought about what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He does know what he's talking about. You start messing around with the oil systems and motors, you need to stop what you're doing and really ask somebody or think about somebody that's done it before and take his advice, or you'll be sorry. A lot of that pertains to all motors.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the Oldsmobile motor.
Okay.
So some people, it's like they come in our shop every day, and I have tours.
Yeah.
Come in. If I see somebody that's interesting, I'll go over and ask him what he wants. In the shop while he came in here, a little bit. Sometimes I like to ask him who sent him here.
Yeah.
What's the history there?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, probably half the time, the customer already knew who I am.
Yeah.
Because we've been coming in here for 50 years.
Yeah.
Or something, and we still run it. But I take them and show them the shop, and if they're beginners at this, the people come back when they all done a tour of the shop, a little 5-minute tour. They said, "I thought you just took the motor apart and painted it and put it back together."
Right.
Absolutely not.
No, there's a lot to
There's
it.
so many phases, from oiling and the bearings and clearances and turning the crankshafts, and it takes a long time. That's why the motor's expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
good.
then we go back when we get done with the motor. Then we have an oil problem of the manufacturing of oil.
Right.
What we do to break the motor in, and what we do to do that. Some of that we don't have any control over.
Yeah. Right.
It's really a good question, but you could talk about it for a week or two.
Yeah. You could really go for a long time.
Yeah. So
Well, just to
thanks
wrap
for the question.
Yeah, Dave, just to wrap it up, he as a thought to leave with, he said, if you're building a car for street and strip, so that's kind of a dual purpose,
That's right.
right? Yeah. Dual purpose, he suggests having a little more rod and main clearances with a high pressure, high volume pump and 2050 racing oil. What do you think of that?
That's his opinion.
That's it, that way he wants to do it.
That's where he wants to do it.
What's your favorite powertrain combination for top fuel or drag applications? What do you like?
There's no question. There's no answer to that. There's only one answer.
Okay.
That's the Chrysler Hemi.
Hemi is all the way to go.
Well, that's the only people that have it. You don't find a big block Chevy in there. It can't even be competitive.
Yeah.
Because they cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
You send your budget and the Chrysler Hemi to run it way over $100,000
Sure.
just to start.
You don't even have a car yet.
You don't even own. Maybe you do own your oil well or something.
Right.
Or 2 or 3 oil wells to do that.
Sure. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
Own fleet of airplanes like that guy in Texas or something.
Yeah.
So he can afford that.
Yeah. That's right.
But there's no question, and I think there's more. Of course, there's more of the motors, and there's more engineering going into them every day.
Yeah.
Then you don't find too many people trying to be competitive with it, because you can't be competitive.
Right. And there's different kinds of fuel combinations.
But pistons and rings, and we'll go back to total seal rings and things like this.
Yep.
We like to help them out, but different things that have done a lot of engineering and testing.
Yep.
On that motor. Why wouldn't it be the best?
Right. Is it better to run a cam? This is a technical engine building thing, on needle bearings instead of normal sleeve bearings.
Sleeve bearings, without a doubt, it's got more friction.
Yeah.
Anytime you stop friction is a winner.
Okay.
Our junior fuel cars have been on bearings, on the needle bearings, for a long time.
Okay.
Of course, we had some special blocks, what we had.
Yeah.
And that little junior fuel car, I don't even know how much money they got in the motor right now. This quality floor covering is still our friends.
Yeah.
He races all around the thing. And Dean Carter,
Yeah.
his dad was my friend for 60 years ago.
Wow.
And we got together on that car. We probably got together once or twice a week just to talk about problems and how we can fix them.
Yeah.
And the whole 60 years I've known him.
Wow.
So his son now, Dean, has the car, quality floor covering. I have no idea how much money they got in that motor.
Right. So you agree about needle bearings. So what about push rod versus overhead cam? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know if I like overhead cam. You don't see them going very much. Like the Ford motor with the dual overhead cams. It didn't last very long. Too many moving parts.
Yeah.
Way too many moving parts
Okay.
to be competitive. And I don't know if we're talking about a race car. I don't know what, I forget.
I think he's thinking about racing here, yeah.
But racing, I think, not necessarily street driving.
Yeah.
But all the new motors now, I think the Toyotas all are overhead cam motors, and the valve springs, this real small spring, it's really looks like a clock or watch.
Yeah, there's a lot.
New engineering.
Yeah. If you want to consider being a member to support it, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
so,
very good. So
thanks. Okay,
Everybody
thanks, Ed.
have fun.
We'll have fun.
Enjoy.
We're going to enjoy it. That's right.
Yeah, we're gonna
okay,
enjoy
we'll
it.
see you again on the next one.
Okay.